Hi Internet, this is a video all about Kingdom Hearts 2. Specifically the Final Mix version, because that's really the definitive version you should be playing at this point. I have a deep love for this game. It is so fun. But there are a lot of weird things that I've noticed going back and playing it. See, I kind of looked up while I was sick because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my time. And I realized I haven't done a full playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 2 in maybe a decade, something like that. I just have been playing off of the same endgame save file, doing, spoilers by the way, doing the data org 13 and all the mushrooms and all of the, like the Terra boss and the endgame farming and stuff like that. So I haven't really actually gone back and played the entire game in a very long time. So I wanted to. And I'm playing it on my PS5. It's included with PSN Plus. And I highly recommend, I know people still can't get PS5s, but if you, even on PS4, the upscaling, the 4K, the 60 frames a second, it's how the game was meant to be played. It's incredible looking back on it, like from 20-ish years ago, playing it on my PS2, how much game systems have evolved and how we're able to play games like that, you know, so much better today. But anyways, I digress. So in America, we didn't get the Final Mix version. We got just the normal bog standard Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's missing a bunch of things exclusive to Final Mix. I actually have a copy of Final Mix right here, the Japanese version, and the Final Mix version has extra, there are sort of puzzle pieces you can find around the level, more chests, slightly different enemies, more keyblades, more stuff to do, and it also has the addition of the Cavern of Remembrance and the Data Org 13 and the Terra Fight and the Mushroom 13, which I believe are not in the original, just the mushrooms. I can't remember if Terra's in it or not. Anyways, so I've been going back doing a Proud Mode playthrough because I always play the game on easy just because I never want to deal with it. And I decided to do a Proud Mode playthrough. And I'm currently at the Roxas fight, which is another Final Mix exclusive. If you don't know, once you get to the world that never was, you walk in and you walk through a winding corridor. Then you go in front of a skyscraper, and Sora and Donald and Goofy get cut off from Sora, and Roxas walks out, and you fight him. Now, in the U.S. version, there's no fight. It just plays a cutscene, and you get a Keyblade. But in the every other version, there's an actual fight, and boy, does this dude just output damage at such a high rate. I'm level 40 something going into this fight, and I'm getting one shot, which just doesn't happen. So I'm gonna have to grind my butt off. But anyways, I actually have a little list here of stuff that I found really weird about Kingdom Hearts 2. So I just want to go through them. First up are the gummy missions. Those are the little flying ship missions that you do to get to levels. They don't really have a point. You never see any of the Heartless that you encounter inside of them outside of those missions. Why those Heartless are even floating around in the spacey void anyways, I don't entirely know. And for 99.9% of the time, you can turn your gummy ship onto auto fire and just hold down the X button and just fire away and not move the controller, and you will survive. Another thing that I noticed is how mad... can't believe I'm putting this. How mad Donald is. Oh my god, I thought it was bad in 3. He is so angry with everything and everyone in 2. I forgot how angry he is with just everything. one thing that I guess is a product of its time is the limited amount of mouth tracking for voices. Yes, there are plenty of cutscenes where the people are talking normally, and they're actually emoting, and the voice is actually tracking. But for a lot of times, it's Sora with he always has a slight smile on his face, even when it's an emotional scene. So he's always kind of smiling at the camera and just kind of opening his mouth and closing it. And, that's how they save the money and time. And they fixed that in 3 because 3 came out a century later and had a better budget. So they were able to, properly do everything. But some of the mouth movements is just kind of weird. Let's see. I already talked about the Roxas fight and how it's kicking me. Small levels. Some of those levels are really tiny, and I never really noticed it until going back and playing it. Like Land of Dragons, the Mulan world, very tiny level. Halloween Town, extremely tiny level. Oh my god, there is almost nothing to do. You take 3 steps, you're out of Halloween Town into Christmas Town, and you take 3 steps and you've seen all of Christmas Town. What else is there? But then you have expansive, huge levels, like the Lion King level, and the Olympus Coliseum, and Radiant Gardens, aka Hollow Bastion, but as you progress, eventually it becomes Radiant Gardens. Just crazy. And then they have levels that, mask their size with dumb gimmicks like Agrabah that has the second time you visit, it's basically an on-rail shooter. Because you fly on the magic carpet. And when I say fly, Sora stands there and the carpet just kind of does what it does. And it's not fun. It's very boring. Because you have such a limited range of attacks you can do while on the carpet. You can't do Sora's normal finishing moves and stuff like that. So you're kind of stuck just sitting on this carpet, flying around, and it's just, I don't know what they were thinking with that. The entire Lion King level, also I wanted to mention, has no impact on the story whatsoever. No member of Organization 13, the main bad guys, go there. There's just no point to it. It's fun, but there's no point to it. Same with the Little Mermaid level. The Little Mermaid level. For those of you who don't know, the Little Mermaid level in Kingdom Hearts 2 is nothing but song minigames. They're quick time events that you have to press square or X when the little dial goes around a circle and gets to the pink part, and that's how you hit the notes for the song. It's basically like not Dance Dance Revolution. Well, kind of, because you are hitting buttons in the correct order, so I guess that kind of works. And some of the requirements are just dumb. Like you can't complete the Little Mermaid level until you are 90% done with the game, because they keep requiring more power-ups and stuff like that, and they just kick you out of the level and then you come back. It's really weird. Another thing that's really weird, the Pirates of the Caribbean level. I think it's because it's humans, but you know what I mean. They didn't have the graphical technologies to kind of fit the cartoony Sora with Jack Sparrow and Will Turner and Elizabeth. So it all just kind of looks kind of uncanny, if you would. Also, one thing that really drives me up a wall about that level, the pirates that you fight. So they're cursed, which means when they're in the moonlight, you can whack them and magic them and beat the crap out of them and do all that. When they're in the shade, they are invincible. Just straight up invincible. Doesn't matter what you do. I found that the best strategy for them is to lure them into the sun, which they never want to go into. I'm sorry, moonlight. Lure them into the moonlight, which they never want to go into. They always want to stay in the shade. And then lightning them. That causes their walking animation to stutter, and I think it's intentional. And then you can just beat the crap out of them. There are some incredibly hard fights in this game that I'm only now realizing are incredibly hard because of Proud Mode. There's a fight early on in the underworld in the Olympus Coliseum level with Hades, where you're in Hades' chamber, which is way up here, and you leave Hades' chamber, and then there's 3 platforms that lead to the exit, and each one is blocked off by an invisible barrier, and you have to defeat some enemies in each one before getting out, and it is extremely, extremely tough. Just the enemy placement, because they have the big bodies, which kind of look like Snorlax here. They're big guys that are completely invincible, except for the head and their back. But the problem is, as soon as you run around them to attack them, they turn and face you. So, they're very hard to defeat, and they take so much to defeat because they're huge. Another one is in the Timeless River, the sort of throwback level to the early Walt Disney cartoon days. It takes place in front of a burning building, and there are car Heartless that speed around and just destroy you. Now, it literally is you getting hit by a car, and it's dangerous, I'll give it that. I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about is summons. Unless you fully play with summons, they're never really explained to you. I still, to this day, don't know what Genie does. Because Genie, you get 4 summons. Chicken Little, Stitch, Genie, and, oh god, who's the... Peter Pan. And I can't tell you what Genie does. He has different modes for, like, different drive forms you have. I can't tell what any of them do. He just kind of spins around and attacks people, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just not using it right. I don't know. But don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic game, and I love it very much. But it has a lot of weird stuff to it. But that's just, something I wanted to quickly touch on. Sorry for the delay in videos. I was sick, and I only recently got over that. Not sure what it was. It wasn't COVID. I just got sick with something that kind of threw me off for a while. And just been busy with that. So, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Support me on Ko-fi if you want to. The link will be down in the description. And thank you very much for watching.